Watching Rogers TV.
Hi, Lynn here from Third Eye View. Welcome to our show today, and I would like to welcome our guest, Jill Wageman. Jill, welcome to the show. Jill does Reiki, and we're also going to talk a little bit about palmistry. She's also a laughter yoga leader, and so later in the show, we are going to get into a little bit of laughter yoga, and that is actually how Jill and I met. But Jill, first of all, let's talk about Reiki. Now, how did you get interested in Reiki? What drew you into that field?
Our daughter is 18 now, and she was on the bus, and her bus driver was Cindy Bennett from Listowel, and she was going to Reiki classes, and we were talking about it. She said, "You should come." I said, "Yeah, I don't know." And she says, "You should come." So first I brushed it off. The next time when she picked up Ksenia, "Please come." I said, "Okay, I'm going to try it." She said, "If you don't like it, you can just go home."
Yeah.
We walked in that door that night, and I was leaving thinking, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do.
Oh,
so
that's good.
How it started.
Yeah.
4 years ago.
Oh, wow. That's good. And I do understand that sort of thing of, well, if you don't like it, you can quit. Because when I first started into learning how to do readings, I had gone for a reading, and the psychic I went to, who became my teacher, she mentioned about classes, and I thought, well, same thing as you. If I don't like it, I'll just quit. Obviously, I did not quit, and obviously, you kept going. So, what is it about Reiki that really has attracted you?
Oh my gosh, it's my whole world now. I can't go a day without talking to I cannot go a day without just thinking about sending something to Reiki to the universe, or I'll send Reiki to the situation. That's my favorite sentence. At anything, I Reiki to our dog George, to our daughter, to my husband, to the plants outside. It's amazing how you send it to the universe, and it'll change. The whole situation changes.
Yeah. Now,
that's how much I like it.
Okay. Now, I didn't realize that you could use Reiki energy on plants. That's interesting.
Yeah. Talk to a plant. If you know that it's not doing so good, you just go talk to it. And
yeah.
How pretty it does. And yeah, you will be amazed that it will actually it hears you, and you'll notice a difference in it the next day, or even 2 days later, or even an hour later.
Oh. Yeah, like I've heard about people talking to their plants, and it makes a difference.
Oh yeah. Even to your food, you're baking something, you're cooking something, send Reiki to look down in the pot on the stove, and send Reiki to it. It'll taste different, taste better.
I'm going to try that. Now, I have my first level of Reiki, which obviously I am nowhere near, trained nowhere near to the extent that you are. And when I'll be honest, there was a time I was quite skeptical about Reiki and whether or not it worked. But I had a hip replacement done about 8 years ago. And some friends of mine that do Reiki, they said, well, we'll send you some Reiki. And I thought, yeah, we'll see. Okay. And honestly, the difference that it made was absolutely amazing. And we, every day the nurse would come in and ask, well, what's your pain level at? And everyone else in the room, they were at 8, 9, 10. And I lied one time and I said 4 because I felt bad because there was no pain. I mean, it was the same operation. They were in massive amounts of pain. I didn't have any. So it really does make a difference if anyone is wondering. And the last time I saw you, we were out for lunch with a group of people, and I mentioned about Russ, and you did some Reiki on Russ. And it helped him. It made a difference for him. So it's like I say, if anyone is skeptical, no, I'm the biggest skeptic there is. It's, the old saying, the proof is in the pudding. And I guess because I've been in this field for so long, I know about all the cons and I know who they are and different con things that go on. So I am skeptical of a lot of things and a lot of people until it's like, show me. Let me see that it works. And then I will tell people all about you. Now, exactly what is Reiki?
Reiki is energy coming from the universe. Like we are all energy. Mm-hmm. We are, and we're in a human body for our time being. And Reiki it's a universal that you just ask the universe for help, for guidance. And it's emotionally, physically, mentally, and even physically. Mm-hmm. Hit all those parts. And it goes to that part, like you send Reiki to your head, for example, you got a headache. You send Reiki to your head. You almost can feel it start working right away. It's a universal, I had all my words. Now I'm so, I can't think of my, but it's just such a, nice, easy way when people believe. It's nothing to do with the devil or whatever. Everybody can do it and they have to believe in it. But just you send Reiki to my, I got a sore foot right now. I've been sending Reiki to my foot. And you can just almost feel the healing, like you just send Reiki down to your foot, and it affects every part of your body. It affects everything. You just send Reiki to the situation, and that's all it is. That's all there is to it.
Now the Reiki energy, it comes from the universe. In essence, you're a channel. Is that correct?
Yes.
So
yeah,
the energy is coming through you, not from you.
No, it comes to you. Like you just have to you just send Reiki. So you hold your hands up, and it comes out of your hands, because that's what your hands are for. Like you send Reiki to something, and you put your hands up, and it comes. It comes from the universe, and it comes into your body, and then you send it out to people, to the dogs, to the plants.
Okay. Now, as you're telling me this, I put my hands up and channeled a little bit, and I'm feeling the energy in my hands.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. So if I want to send it to you long distance for your foot, because you said your foot hurts.
Yes.
So if I want to send this energy to you to help your foot, how do I do it?
Do I
just go like that?
No, go like this. Hold your hands up. Hold your hands up like this, flat out. And you just send Reiki to Jill's foot. Okay. And you can feel the warm energy come out of your hand. Okay. You feel your warm energy come out like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Reiki to Jill's foot.
And then if something's wrong, you will feel the cool energy here.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like I definitely feel the warmth. Now, yeah. I think I have sent it to you, like Reiki to Jill's foot. So I do that. Can you feel, like, does your foot feel any different? I don't know. I may not have sent it right, but.
Yeah, now before it was just sitting, I had it flat in the foot, flat in the floor. Now there's a feeling going up my foot, right now. Yes. Yes. right now. You can feel it. It's a different feeling from what I've been feeling the last couple hours. So yeah.
Okay. So
you felt,
here
yep.
you,
So there you go. It's that easy. It's that easy
yeah.
to send Reiki to somebody. It's that
Okay. So yeah, see, you have just witnessed it firsthand
easy.
on air. First
Now my foot's starting to feel a little bit better actually. Yes. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Now, like I say, I do have my level 1 Reiki, so I have a bit of an idea.
Mhm.
But this is the first time I've actually sent it out
Yeah.
to somebody where I've gotten feedback.
Hmm.
And now I know that you're not ready to teach yet, and it probably won't be until next year, is what I'm being told.
Mm-hmm.
But once you're ready, because you're okay if I give you a few predictions here?
Sure.
Okay. Anyway, next year, Jill will probably, could be, it may not be until the fall because she's got some things to accomplish first. But Jill will be teaching Reiki next year, and we will give you her contact information. And we'll kind of keep in touch with her. And I'll have her back on, we'll have you back on the show next year when you're ready to teach.
Okay.
We can talk about it again because we're going to have some other things to talk about. Now, I know you have talked about writing a book on Reiki, like writing out your own notes.
Yes.
You're just thinking it's not going to be much. Well, I've got news for you, my friend. It's going to, you're okay. For you, Reiki is a passion, correct?
My life. Yes.
It is. And once you start writing out your sort of little handbook, I'm afraid it's going to go beyond a handbook.
Hmm.
And it's going to go actually into a book that can be published. Because one of the things I see you doing, it's, well, okay, here's how you do it. This is what you do. And little anecdotes and little incidents, I remember a time that, and this is, I did it to somebody and this is what happened. And here's something really funny about it. So there's going to be little stories that go with it. And I don't know if that makes any sense at this point.
Oh yeah. It brings up so many little things already. Yeah.
Okay. So, and this is why you may not actually start teaching. This is why you're not supposed to teach yet. This is why they're saying it'll be next year, possibly a year from now, because you need the time to write that book.
Okay.
Okay. And then get it out there, get it published.
Yes.
And at that point, you will be teaching, and part of what you're teaching will be from your book.
Okay.
Yeah. So you've got a wonderful journey to go on with the Reiki. And you need a little bit of a push. You know me?
Okay.
I'll push you.
Yeah. It was something when I met you for the first time a couple years ago at the laughter yoga, and I hadn't met you yet. And I remember watching you on the show. And
Yeah.
look, I know, and then things happen for a reason, and it's all part of the process. And then you can't push anything; you just have to wait for it to come. You can push as much as you want, but it's just going to come when it's to.
It is. First of all, there's no such thing as coincidence.
No.
Okay. And everything happens for a reason. The universe always has a plan. And we don't always know what that plan is. Sometimes we're not meant to know because it is human nature to interfere. Well, I don't want to wait that long. I want it now. Or, oh, no, that kind of scares me. I don't think I want to do it. And we would push it away. So the universe just kind of comes in and smack, you're doing it. The teacher that I had, Lizanne Gallo, she was absolutely amazing. She was a wonderful teacher. And she knew me well enough to know that there were some things, if she let me know what we were going to do in the next class, I probably wouldn't show up because I think, oh God, I can't do it. I'm just not going to go. And so she would spring it on me. And she had this grin, you know, and whenever she got this grin on her face, it was like, oh crap, here we go. And she always said that, you know, again, it's the universe and it's either sink or swim. And she knew that I would never sink. She knew I would always swim. And you're the same way. In fact, most people are, if they can get past their fears and past themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but one of the other things that you do, because I want to be able to spend a bit more time on laughter yoga. Sort of, we'll do that in the last half of the show.
Yeah.
But you also do palmistry.
Yes. Yeah, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Now, I didn't know that about you until we all met for lunch a month or so ago. And what got you interested? How did you get into palmistry? What got you interested in that?
Oh, well, some years ago, when my husband and our daughter were in Stratford, and there was this store in Stratford, which is not there anymore, but you just walk in and I could get information on Reiki and everything to do with energy. Like, it was a lovely store, and the lady in the back was teaching palmistry. So I said to Andy one day, I said, "Oh, I'd like to take that course," and he said, "Okay." So then we booked ourselves into staying at the hotel in Stratford, and he dropped me off, and I had him. So there's the class that night, and I walked in, and I didn't know anybody. Turns out quickly, one of the girls who was there was one of my high school classmates, she and her husband, and I sat across from her husband, and he held out his hand, and so the teacher introduced all of us. There's 6 of us there, and we all just sat there. And she said, "Just hold out your hand," and she explained all where the lines are and where they go and what you do. And then she said, "They'll just practice on each other." So I'm shaking like a leaf because I am shy. I really am shy. But
Yeah.
this guy, he said, "Well, I'll do you first." So he took my hand, and he said, "Oh, look at all this," and then I took his hand, and I said, "Look at oh," I said, "Oh, you're a," and I think you could just see it, that he cut wood, and he wears a dark jacket and a red hat and you could just see it, and how all these things, you could see it in his hand. And he said, "How did you know?" I said, "I don't know. This is what it says in your hand." And he was just freaking out. He says, and I said, "Well, look." And it was funny. So then after that, I said, "Well, you have the long lifeline here, and and all that." And he was just quite amazed. And so the next time we met, I had another lady. She had every blockage that I could not see in her hand. She was closed. She just came because she thought, "Oh, this is just a crock."
Uh-huh.
I couldn't do anything out of her hand. I said, "I'm sorry, but I can't see too much." And she says, "Told you." I felt bad about that. So, yeah, but I know I can do it. I haven't done it for a long time, but I know I haven't.
Now, if you're seeing things, like you mentioned about a red hat.
Yeah.
If you're seeing things like that, I don't know anyone who does straight palmistry who could see something like that. So that, Jill, is a bit of clairvoyance that's hitting in with you. That's not just palmistry.
Mm.
That's tapping into your clairvoyance.
And at the time, I didn't know too much about it because I was still learning Reiki. I was still learning it. And I remember going with Andy and Cassina. And yeah. But even years ago, I knew I could do something, but I just didn't know what it was. And I knew something. I knew I was different from my family. The first time my mom, she said, "Joe, I want you to see something." She held up it just a necklace. She says, "Look, Joe." And she says, "Ask her the question." I said, "What do you mean?" So I'm going to ask her a question, she says. So I said, "Jill's my daughter." Let's go back and forth. So what the heck is that? And she said, you just, you can talk, you can just ask it any questions. And I thought, and it's all to do with energy. I thought, well, what do you mean? She said, well, I never did it when I was younger, but I know I can do this. But mom never believed more in what I was the one that kept on going with it. I walked out of that house thinking, I want to learn how to do that. I want to learn more about that. But I knew I had it in me.
Yeah, I remember when we were kids. Well, not just kids. Like in our sort of 18 or late teens, early 20s, and it was, well, how many times are we going to get married, and how many kids are we going to have? Is it a girl? It's a boy? When someone was pregnant, and I remember when you could either we used to do it with a thread and a darning needle, or a thread, and we'd put, if they were married and wanted to know, and they were pregnant, we would put the wedding band on a piece of thread. And same thing, like this is one of a pendulum that I made, but the same idea, hold it up, and then show me yes, thank you, now show me no, thank you, stop. But it's that same thing. And again, it's all energy, So, and of course, with you doing the Reiki, you're really pulling, it's pulling your gifts and your abilities. It's making them stronger. It's pulling them out.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can also see dead people. I saw my dad at his funeral, and my brother was standing at the pulpit or and he was giving his speech, and I looked up and I could see Dad above him on the pillar. Oh my God. I couldn't believe it. Like I almost fell over, and I was just, and I couldn't say anything to my family because they'd be quiet in church. But I remember going after the luncheon, and I'm going to one of my girlfriends who knows Reiki like me.
Yeah.
I just saw Dad. She says, yeah. So and it's like these little things when you believe, you can do it.
Yes.
And for a long time I didn't believe. I had to really work on my self-confidence. And look at it now.
When I was young, and I'm talking like 9-10 years old, before I would sense things, but I didn't know what psychic was. I mean, back then it wasn't something that we talked about. And my dad never liked going to funerals. He hated them. He wouldn't go. He would send my mom and I. So I would go with my mom. Once I was 16, I could drive. And I went with her, and even to this day, I don't like funeral. I hate going to a funeral home. I hate looking in the casket. And my biggest fear when I was a kid was that whoever was in the casket would sit up and start talking to me. And of course, back then, I didn't understand anything about my gifts, my abilities. I could do things, I knew things, but I just figured it was normal. It was stuff that everybody did. But like I say, I had this horrid fear that, oh God, they're going to sit out and start talking to me. They're going to come back from the dead. And, oh yeah.
Yep.
Scared me. But anyway, back to the palmistry.
Okay.
Now, I know, I was thinking this. I had heard, I had a funeral director tell me, but I never got a chance to look at a dead person's hand. But I heard that when you die, your lifeline kind of shrivels up and disappears. Have you heard that?
No.
Yeah.
No, I did not know.
But since I've heard that, I haven't had the chance to go to a funeral. Let me have a look at their hand.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been known.
It's not the appropriate thing to do. Would you say, yeah, we're going to start a laughter yoga session. Ho, ho, ho. It's that British sense of humor, Jill. I'm telling you.
Just imagine the look in everybody's face when you walk over to the casket and you can say your prayer, and all by oh, just a second, I'm going to grab the hand. You're like, what the hell?
Our teacher, Like when I was taking classes with Lizanne, she touched on palmistry with us. And she was saying that some people, the heart line and the head line are not separate, but they go straight across as one line. And if you see anyone with their hand, like with that one straight line, just kind of back away from them, because people like Hitler, Manson, all like these serial killers just had the one straight line. They had their lifeline and one straight line right across.
Mm-hmm.
So every time we got, and of course we were living in Mississauga at the time in an apartment, and every time someone got in the elevator with me, it's like, let me see your hand. I want to make sure you're not a killer. And when I did psychic fairs, honestly, Jill, if there was somebody there that was a little different, they ended up in my booth. And, I would say, well, let's have a look at your hand. Just want to confirm a few things. And I would get people who had that one line straight across. And I mentioned to them about anger issues. I thought, well, let's just bring it up that way. And they were, yeah, I do. And we were able to talk about it. And some of them at the end of it, they were, thank you. I really needed to talk to someone about this, but no one's ever brought it up. And here, fearless me, fearless are not so bright. We're not sure sometimes. So treading where angels dare to, or what's that saying? Where
Devils fear to tread.
Yes. Anyway, and I've never heard anything else about that line. And it's not something that you see very often.
No, but now that interests me. So when I'm done here, I'm going to go look into that.
Yeah.
More about that too.
Now, sometimes I've noticed with some people that the lifeline is broken.
Yes.
Now, what does that mean?
It means something is going to happen. Like I'm looking at my lifeline right now, and it's a long line. Like somebody, it depends. It's a long line. You'll live to be a long life, but something's going to happen when the lifeline gets shortened. Something's going to happen to them.
Okay, but what if there's a break in? Yeah, so if there's a break in it, but then it continues, there's, like you say, something will happen, but they'll survive it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Something's going to happen. Yes. No, they won't die. Just something will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question.
Okay.
If someone were to have a double lifeline, because I have seen this, very, very rare, but I have seen it, where they have the one lifeline that's very, very strong, but then they have a very small, fine one beside it. Is that from a different lifetime? Like, is that a line from a past life?
Honestly, I don't know the answer to that question.
Okay.
No, I have to go into and do some research on that. I honestly don't know the answer. I don't know. I'm sorry, but I don't know the answer.
No, don't apologize. My mind goes places that most people's don't. Anyway.
But now I'm interested in it.
We are going to take a short break, and we'll be back. So don't go away. And we're going to talk a little bit more about palmistry, and then we're going to get into some laughter yoga, and we'll all laugh together.
Treaty in Cree is Naskomitoin, an oral agreement, and our agreements were always spoken. For George Spence, the core of treaty was Wichihioin, to help one another.
And so we, the commissioners,
He was there for the making of Treaty 9, where the Cree were told,
we will honor this agreement together for as long as the sun shines and the waters flow.
the Cree made their mark because they were assured that the land would be shared, and they would always be able to harvest what they needed. George Spence was my great-grandfather. In his life, he saw many promises of the treaty go unfulfilled.
Treaties were essential to the creation of Canada. First Nations still fight for the agreements to be honored.
Are you a content creator looking to expand your audience and make your voice heard in your community? Rogers TV wants to provide you with a platform to share your hobbies, interests, and stories for free. Visit us to find out more.
And welcome back. All right, now let's continue on with this palmistry. Now, like I say, I only learned the very, very basics in it, okay? And different things that I've read and seen, that if someone has an M in their hand, it means that they have strong intuition. Is that real, or here I go asking the wrong questions again?
Oh, sorry to me. My phone just started ringing, so I'm just. I sorry about that. I should have turned it off. I didn't realize anyone was going to be calling me, but I was sorry about that. I had my cell phone beside me, and oh no. What was that question? I'm sorry.
And I've seen it on Facebook, and I mean, if you see it on Facebook, it's 100% right? I know it's not. But I've seen where different ones have said that if you have an M in the palm of your hand, that it means that you're psychic.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, where is it you see how many marriages you have? Is that along?
So if you hold your hands up, hold it up, and you'll see on your right hand, on my left hand, like the lines are a lot smaller. You see that? On your left hand, the lines are a lot smaller. On your right hand, you see the lines a lot bigger.
Yeah.
See that? Okay. And you'll see that there's a long line, like there's a long line going up. Like the lines are long. You'll see it. It went up the middle of your hand. If you can see that. If I can do that here, right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. That's how long you'll have a long marriage. Your life is the line is long.
Yeah. Now, marriages. Now, this marriage.
Or the marriage is long. Yeah, that's how long your marriage will last. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
long. Yes.
If someone's had 3 marriages, does that?
I think I'm going back to this.
Okay.
Here. Like I said, I should have did some more research on my book. I just or my
yeah.
I haven't done it for a few years. I honestly.
Okay. Yeah, and I know with the fingers too. I know with the thumb, just the feel of the thumb, if it's stiff, like when you're holding your hand and someone goes to press your thumb, if it goes back easy, that's one thing. But if it's a little stiff, that means the person is determined and well focused.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And if it's really like goes like this, they're pushover.
Yeah. And one of the things that we were taught to, like, I'll have someone hold their hand out. And if they hold their hand like this, where there's the space in between their fingers, it means that money will go through their fingers like water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They tend to spend. If they hold it out and it's tight like that, then they're good with money.
Yes.
And we were taught to that when you ask someone to put their hand out, if they put it out, trying to do this like really flat like that, they're honest.
Yeah.
Okay. But if they curve it, it's not necessarily that they lie, but they hide a lot of things. They won't tell you they're not going to give you the answer you're looking for if you don't ask the right question.
Yes.
Okay, does that make sense?
Yes. You'll see a lot in the way their face is too, their eyes.
Oh yeah.
Talk to you too. If they're not, they're they're lying to you or they're not going to tell you the truth, they won't look at you.
No, they'll look away from you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, there's so much that you can tell about people. Even when you walk into their homes, there's a lot you can tell about their personality. If someone's house is absolutely spotless and sort of everything's in its place, and there's not a whole lot of stuff, like this is someone that they go after quality rather than quantity. Place for everything. Don't have a lot of patience with kids. Where if you walk into a home that there's clutter, chances are they're really creative. Okay. There's something on Facebook that for anyone that's creative, an artist, if it's not clutter, it's ideas just spread around the room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
But again, when you walk into someone's house, you can tell, by the things that they have and where things are placed, a lot about their personality too.
But even with our Reiki, our aura, even when you meet somebody or walk in someone's house, right away you can tell if you're ever going to be good friends or you want to walk right back out that door.
Oh, yeah.
There's something about when you walk into that room and you walk into the house and you shake their hands and you look into their face.
You either feel comfortable or you don't.
Yep. You can know you can be good friends or this is going to be one-time visit only.
Yeah.
Yep. It's amazing what you can feel. This is what I find being in my Reiki world. You can feel these things a lot more. And it's a different feeling. And you ever think, oh my gosh, people think I'm going to be really strange or snobby or just abrupt.
Yeah.
Would you want to walk into someone's house and not feel comfortable there?
Oh God, no. Absolutely not. And I mean, we have had, it's funny because our house, it was in the mid to late 1870s. So it's an old house. All right. When it was first built, it was built as the rectory to the Anglican Church here in Burby. And a lot of the old spirits, they're still here. I have offered to send them on, but they don't want to. They want to stay here for now. So that's fine. To me, the house would be empty without them, And I remember one time I had a friend of mine over and she had her daughter. And her daughter, when she was sitting at the kitchen, we were sitting in the kitchen at the table, and her daughter kept going forward. Something was pushing her. And when they left, there was a woman sitting on the stairs. And she just looked and she said, well, thank God they've gone. But she didn't like them.
Oh.
And I have had that with not very many people, but there are some people that have come here and they have not felt comfortable in here. And a lot of it is the spirits in the house didn't like them. And I've had other people come here, and if there's 2 or 3, come together to get readings, I've had them fall asleep on the couch out in the living room while they're waiting their turn because they feel that comfortable. And then they come in the office and, they get talking about ghosts and haunted houses. And it's like, and they're sitting there, oh, I wouldn't want to go into a house that has ghosts in it. And I'm just like, you're sitting in one, you fell asleep in it, you're that comfortable, So too many people, Hollywood has too big a spin on it.
Yeah.
On the reality of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the things that I do, because we've got about maybe 15, 16 minutes left, and I really would like to get into laughter yoga because I believe that, laughter is so important. And it has healing attributes as well. And now, what's your story? How did you get into laughter yoga?
A few years ago, I noticed it was laughter yoga with Duncan on Facebook, and what is that all about? So then I never mind. I keep on going about my day and come back and be here on Facebook again. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to call Duncan. And from day one, what a nice man.
Oh, he really is.
He's a friendly man. He's just really he's heartwarming. He's just like he makes you feel comfortable from day one. And I said, well, what's this all about? He says, well, do you want to come to a meeting? I said, well, I don't know. And can just come to a laughter yoga meeting here at the church. I said, okay. So off I went, and this is nice. And then to meet Duncan in person, and everybody else. And so then he says, do you want to take that course? I said, what course? He says, well, then become a laughter yoga instructor. Okay. Not thinking anything more that I was going to do anything more about it. And so I took the course. It was online, and that was okay. At first I had a little bit of getting used to that because I rather be meeting people in person. I'm more rather be in a classroom than sitting here in front of the computer. You just feel more together with people if you face them face to face. But no, that was a lovely course I took with Duncan, and then they said, do you want to become a teacher? I said, well, why would I become a teacher for? So then you can teach it to people. I don't know. I've come from a family of teachers. My dad was a teacher, my brother's a teacher, my two sisters are teachers. And it runs in the family, but it's not something I want to do. Because I'm not one to sit up in front of people and talk. Like I'm a lot more quiet than that. We have to think of my words, and I'd rather not. That's just who I am. So if I'm going to learn how to teach Reiki someday, I'm going to learn how to teach Reiki someday. Yeah. But for laughter yoga, and then going to the meetings and the workshops with Duncan, and then going in the summertime, and then the laughter yoga championships. Gosh, it's fun. That's all you do is laugh, and it was just that was just really, really great. Yeah. And I encourage everybody around here. I can't seem to get a class going around here, but it's just, I'm going to keep on going and keep on trying.
Yeah. Oh, I've tried a few times to get one going up here, and I just can't seem to get the interest in it.
Yeah. Okay.
And yet it has so many benefits.
Yes.
Health benefits.
Yep.
And I was reading in the book that a 10-minute laughter yoga session is the equivalent of a half-hour cardio workout because you're working all your core muscles, and you're doing the breath work with it. And this is where the yoga part comes in, is with the breath work. And there's times I said to people, oh yeah, laughter yoga. Oh, I couldn't get down on the floor and I couldn't do this and that. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't need to with laughter yoga, and they just, not enough people really understand what it's about.
Yeah. I say to people, it's to make you feel better when you're washing dishes, just start laughing. Well, why? Just start laughing. Just start chuckling to yourself, watching TV or doing the laundry.
Yeah.
Just start laughing. And then it takes away the worry, the frustrations, the headaches you got for the day. Yeah. And you sleep better at night. I find that if you start laughing, it's something simple.
Yeah. And too, when it's good for depression, anxiety, things like that, because when you're laughing, it's hard to be depressed.
Yep.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah. But we'll do some exercises here. Now, what is your favorite laughter exercise?
A, B, ha ha, C, D, ha ha, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. I go through the whole alphabet. I get to V.
Yes. Yeah. Now, one thing that we should talk about, though, before we get into actually doing some things, is because there are certain things, like if you have just had major surgery, you should not be doing laughter yoga.
No.
Okay. If you have a heart problem, you want to go very light on it, but I would check with your surgeon first. Now, Russ has had a couple of heart attacks, and he spoke to his heart specialist about it. And we talked about it. I explained to him what it was, and he said, oh, no, he's fine to do that. But before you do, you want to talk to your surgeons, talk to your doctors. I think if someone has epilepsy, they want to be careful. Is that? I don't know. It's a while since I've looked in the book. But I know there's a couple of different things that you do want to be careful. And again, I'm going to say it's like any exercise. Excuse me. Don't overdo to start with. Work your way into it. So, if you're laughing and you're trying to keep up with everybody else and you're thinking, oh, I don't think I can do anymore, then stop. Okay. And take that break. That is important. Now, one of my favorite is laughter cream. And, it's like we've got this great big jar. Imagine that you're sitting there and you have a great big jar of cream in front of you. And you dip your hand in and you start rubbing yourself with it. Now, the reason I like this is because you're massaging as well, right? And your neck. And you start rubbing yourself, rubbing this cream on you, on your face, your arms, your neck, your shoulders, and it makes you laugh. Come on, Jill. Get that cream on you.
Just a minute.
Yeah. So if anybody has arthritis in the hands, again, it's good. It helps. Okay. Get the scalp massaged.
Yes. Oh.
Very good. Very good.
Very,
Yay. But, that is an example.
Yeah.
Again, of different ones. And then there is the one where you pretend that you're talking to someone on the cell phone. And you don't have to actually use a cell phone. You can just use your hand. And this is a good one if you're out in public. Hold your cell phone and start laughing because they don't know that you're laughing. And I've done that in the grocery store. And I've had people walk by and look at me like, are you nuts? And it's like, yep. I don't know if you ever met Star. Can't remember her last name, but she started this thing where it was, you would phone somebody like that was part of this, right? That you would just phone up out of the blue and start laughing. And we would laugh for a minute and then hang up. Or if you wanted to talk, you could talk. But I did that a few times too. She called me, she caught me when I was doing grocery shopping, but I laughed anyway. And like I say, there were people that just kind of, oh yeah, here's a good one. But we got away from it. I know I got away from it too. Star Bear, I think was her last name. But anyway, it really is a good thing to do, especially if you're feeling, well, I really need someone to laugh with.
Yep.
Then you phone up one of your laughter buddies. That's what it was. It was laughter buddies. And just start laughing.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, before we go any further, Jill, if somebody wants to get hold of you to have a Reiki session done,
okay,
how do they contact you?
Well, I usually give out my cell phone number.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's the best way that I do it, because I hand out the little cards. I used to, but anyway, my cell phone number and give it to people. That's the best way to get a hold of me.
All right. And what is your cell phone number? Like Mark will put it on the screen as well.
Okay. It's 519-272-5665.
All right. And so that's if they want to book a Reiki session. But also, if you're interested, because you're down towards the Listowel area. So anyone down there, or I mean, laughter can be done on Zoom as well. Anything, but if you're interested in laughter yoga and want to do some sessions with Jill, again, give her a call, and I'm sure she can set something up.
Yeah, also my Reiki by Jill website. Send that. Did you?
Okay.
Yeah, just go on LinkedIn, and yeah, Reiki by Jill, and that comes up.
Okay.
I'm trying to get on that regularly. I haven't been on the last little while, but I'm on it regularly now, and it's I get a lot of feedback on, a lot of followers on that, and
Good.
people from all over. It's quite something.
That's good. Okay, all right, we've got 7 minutes.
Okay.
All right, so what is another laughter exercise that you like to do? That when you're teaching, or like when you're doing a session with people, what is one that you do?
And I go, and
That's a good one. I've not seen that one done. Like I say, there's so many.
so many. Yeah, and it's just funny how when you think you're doing one, another one comes to mind too. Then you're doing that one right after.
Yeah.
People, and it's amazing how people, oh yeah, I have one for you, and I have one for you, and I have one for you, and yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah, and it does make you feel better, even if you're having a bad day. Laughter yoga. I'm trying to encourage that around, but yeah, like you, I have a hard time getting people around here interested in it.
And it's a great thing for kids. It really is. I did a couple of children's birthday parties, laughter parties, and it started actually with one of my grandsons. He had his mom call me, because he was maybe 6 at the time, and he wanted, for his birthday, he wanted to have a laughter party. So, and this was during COVID, so we had to do it online. I couldn't go down there. And we did it, and I'll tell you, the kids, they had a great time. And, it gets them using their imagination. And they had little puppets that they could use. Now, I've got one that I made, of course, with being Scottish, we had to get, this is Nessie, right? The Loch Ness Monster. And so this is one that I work with kids. And then, and they would come up with, well, it's like, how does a dinosaur laugh? And we would do that and get into different animals. And of course, a lion, well, the lion roars with the claws, And they just, like I say, and they would come up with things, how does a giraffe laugh? And they'd be stretching up, and they loved it. And sometimes with the laughter yoga, I've also incorporated some meditation into it. And I did one, and Richard was a part of this one time, where we did the bowl of loving kindness. And they hold a bowl that's made from energy. And when we were done going through it, Richard, it was like, Grandma, my bowl got really cold. So even at 6 years old, if you think that this is beyond kids and that kids don't feel this stuff, oh boy, do they ever. And he was right into it. And he told me how he told me how he felt and what it was. And he thought it was great. And he was just like, ooh, my bowl got really cold, Grandma. So, there's a lot with it. And of course, the laughter, again, with everything being energy, the laughter works so well when you're doing Reiki, meditation, all of these things. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine life without it, without Reiki, without knowing how to do this and how to change it. No, just let it ever overcome you. You know what you have to do. You know what you can do.
Oh God, how do I? Okay, it's someone calling me on Skype. I don't even know the person. Anyway, so much for that one. But where was I?
It's about how Reiki can, how knowing how to do the energy, how it can help you.
Oh, it can. Oh, and by the way, you're going to be taking some courses in something else that is going to work with your Reiki too. It's still energy work.
I am. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So that's going to be a good thing. Now, one more time, if anyone wants to get hold of you, how do they reach you?
Yeah, call me at 519-272-5665 or go on my website, Reiki by Jill. And yeah.
Okay.
I'll be happy to talk with you.
Oh, wonderful. Well, we've still got a couple of minutes. It has been wonderful having you on as a guest.
Well, thank you very much.
I'm going to say sort of goodbye to everybody now, because what we're going to do is we're going to end this with a laughter.
Okay.
Okay, with a laughter exercise. So I'll look forward to our next show. And remember, keep laughter in your heart and let's get that laughter going. Okay, Jill. Sending out hugs and love and laughter.
It makes living a wonderful place to be when you put laughter in your life.
Oh, is it ever?
Yes.
And, I know people who suffer with depression. My husband is a winter depressive, and we do laughter yoga. And I have to tell you, it has made a difference for him. So It really does. And working that and the Reiki, all of these wonderful things, it's amazing how they can all work together.
Yep.
It really is. And
I'm glad my husband Andy supports me in that too.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Get ready for the ultimate sports talk experience. Join us every week for the most in-depth analysis, heated debates, and special guests. We give you action off the ice and off the field with all the drama and all the fun. Don't miss out on the sports talk show that's taking the game to a whole new level. Get your game face on and join us on RTV Sports Wrap.
Hey you, Bravo's now in Canada.
Walk in the room like a CEO. I handle my biz like a one-man show.
Hi, Shaq. I want to do something drastic.
Whoa. Don't activate me, because you've not seen me activated.
Leave
me alone.
Get out of my house. Stop.
I'm not
gonna lie, I'm looking forward to this.